Hi. Happy Monday to you. So I'm coming to you to deliver stage 5 of the rebrand, which is the experience. If you don't know me already, my name is Dana and you can follow me at simply_DP. So I want to talk just a little bit about last week, which was the surrender and just the acknowledgement overall that we are, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are living in survival mode, right? And we don't really have a good grasp on our relationship with faith and our relationship with understanding the flow of things, right? We're trying to be in control because we want to make sure that the outcome is going to produce us being able to sustain ourselves, our safety, and, just all the things that make a human being feel like they're okay, right? Black and brown people just historically have had a harder time with finding a good flow and a good streak of financial success, right? Or just the comforts of luxury and experience and privilege. And that has caused us, many of us, to live for the moment, right? To live in the moment and to not really be able to gauge the long term long enough to produce a plan that will give us an opportunity to really excel. So surrendering is making that covenant with God and letting him know that you trust him and that you're confident that he's going to bring something into your life that will allow you to create an inflow of financial stability without having to sacrifice your soul, right? So the experience this week is just about really paying attention to the areas in your life where you're trying to grasp the control. So I'll give you just an example, right? This is a journey that I'm taking that's going to allow me to live the life of my dreams. But before this, the journey that I took was my surrender journey, right? Many of you know that I went to Honolulu after quitting my job as the vice president of a e-commerce automotive company. So that was my surrender journey, going to Honolulu, separating myself from my material possessions, selling my Benz, breaking my lease, leaving my apartment in Houston, Texas, and then going to Honolulu with no money in my pocket, right? That was my experience. The opportunity that I was giving God to show me that he would provide for me without me having to think about it. I slept in the airport for 9 days. I didn't have anything. And toward the 9th day, one of my friends texted me and she said to me, Dana, you've been heavily on my mind. Like, is everything okay? And it was Thanksgiving. And I was telling her, like, I'm in the airport. I've been here at that point for, I think, 7-8 days. And I was like, I'm not leaving. God promised me that he's going to get somebody to get my ticket. And I'm staying here. And she was like, I've been thinking about you so strongly. She was like, and this is like 30 minutes later, I guess she like had her own spiritual experience, or maybe she prayed on it and she asked God, but she ended up buying my ticket. So I went there. I didn't have any money. I didn't have no plan, nowhere to sleep. But he just kept making sure I couldn't ask anybody for anything. That was a download that I had received while I was in the airport, because I could feel the apprehension anytime I went to go ask somebody. Like, I'm a hustler, right? So, or I used to be a hustler. I'm I'm not a hustler. I'm a former hustler. I'm refined and revived, and I've been delivered. But my instinct while I was in the airport was to go up to somebody and ask them to get my ticket, right? Or to try to exchange a service, or tell somebody give them my resume, or try to find a job. It's like I kept trying to figure out how I was going to get the money for this ticket. And that was not God's intention, right? So every day I would rise, I would have this anxiety because I didn't know where this money was going to come from, or where this ticket was going to come from. And that kept giving me anxiety. And it wasn't until I ceased, until I was just satisfied in my energy in the airport, that I would get progressive steps. I would get insight to the next step, or somebody would come up to me and give me some information, or like you could just tell the little forward movement of energy that God was providing me as confirmation, so that I knew that I was getting closer, right? So when you surrender, the only way to really establish a relationship is to allow yourself to hear God, right? And when I'm saying that, I mean for you to test if something is going to happen for you, right? So even while I was in the airport on my way to Honolulu, I got the ticket, but I didn't have any money for my luggage, and I had a lot of stuff. So I'm sitting there, and maybe a few hours before my flight was about to take off, I got a text from Delta saying, your luggage is free today. And I'm like, okay. But I started to get so many of those moments that I just started to know, right? I just started to know that things were going to work out for me, because this was the conversation in the covenant that I had made with God. Father God, I'm going to surrender my life to you, meaning that I'm no longer going to assess and to assert myself in my own will. I'm not going to allow myself to be a part of the matrix system in the way in which my energy is being utilized for things that are not about what you need me to be doing, or are not about me being able to creatively express myself. I'm going to stop chasing material things, chasing money, trying to prove to myself, to my family, to my friends, that I'm of a certain stature and of a certain status. I'm going to completely surrender to you, and I'm going to wait on your provision only, right? So once I got into that mindset, my experience was Hawaii. My experience was all the beautiful moments. I can't even start to share with you just the miraculous small things that were happening, because I quieted my flesh. I didn't eat for days leading up to me actually going to the airport. So I was kind of in a fasting state, and I fast quarterly anyway, but my body, just the spiritual connection that I was having, just the insight, the information, the intuitiveness, just the way in which I was flowing with my circumstance, that was allowing me not to be frustrated, was allowing me to know that I was on the right path, doing the right thing. So if you're on this journey with me, and this last week you surrendered, I'm asking you this week to pay attention. Pay attention to the synchronicity of how you desire something, and pay attention to how you feel when things are not going your way, or at least you're perceiving that they're not going your way. And I'll give you another example before I let you go. My mom, I haven't been working in 2 years, right? So my mother gave me a free phone. One of her Obama phones that she had, right? That's offered to her through New York State because she's disabled. So she gave it to me. I got a text maybe a month and a half ago that said that they were about to cut that service because it was no longer in New York City's budget. I got a text today that says that it's not going to be cut off until August, when it was projected to be cut off in June, right? So, but I didn't fret. I didn't try to find a phone. I didn't talk about the fact that I was going to need a phone. I didn't tell my mother that they were saying they was going to cut the phone. I never uttered a word about it, because even if the phone would have got cut off, I know God would have provided another way for me to have some form of communication. Just like he provided that phone, he would provide something else, right? So in this week, in the experience, pay attention to the areas of your life in which you're not in control, and allow yourself to be okay with the fact that you're not in control, and continue to move forward with your day, and allow God an opportunity to show you that he's going to make sure that all things work for your good, because his promise to us is that he will provide if you surrender. You can continue to go out at this life in your own will, or you can decide to live for him and allow him to align you with what it is that is going to bring you joy, and also bring you money, and serve his purpose over your life. So allow yourself to experience what it feels like to surrender. I love you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm excited to see what you create. So continue to enjoy your day. Follow me on Instagram at simply_DP, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.